Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Council Insights. I'm Linda Hartzell, the Vice President of the Harrisburg Diocesan Council of Catholic Women, and it pleases me so much to have two former past presidents of HDCCW with me today. They currently serve in several roles at our board. Today, their emphasis is going to be on talking about parliamentary procedure, as they are the two parliamentarians for our HDCCW board. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, and we'll start with you.
I'm in Hastings. My home parish is St. Cecilia's in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I'm president of the Lebanon District of Council of Catholic Women, and as Linda said, parliamentarian for the HDCCW board.
So good to have you, Anne. How about you, Marge?
I'm Marge Schmader. I'm in the Northern District, Sacred Heart Parish, Lewisburg, and I'm also, like Ann said, on the Harrisburg Council too, the same as she is.
We've got our two parliamentarians with us here today. Their names may be familiar to you for those of you who have been able to access on our diocesan website, HDCCW Happenings. There are 4 issues of that newsletter posted at hdccw.webs.com. Again, the website is hdccw.webs.com. And they were kind enough to submit to me for the newsletters 4 articles, ranging in topic from roles of the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, how to establish a meeting agenda format, how helpful phrases for parish presidents on including how to process emotion. And one of the articles is the one I want to spend time on today, and that is guidelines for following Robert's Rules of Order to have an orderly parish meeting for Council of Catholic Women. So toward that end, I thought I'd start off with just a couple of scenarios, some things we've heard from attendees at CCW meetings, like a possible thing that might happen. And I'm going to ask Anne or Marge to comment on how using Robert's Rules of Order, the situation could be remedied. For example, our meetings are chaotic. Everyone talks at once. I can't get a word in edgewise. Ladies, one of you, would you care to address how following an organized meeting agenda and Robert's Rules might help in that scenario?
I think the first thing that is needed is an agenda. If the president does an agenda and the members receive it like a week ahead of time, they are more prepared. And the agenda will also keep things moving and in order. People will know what's coming, and they won't need to, people won't need to be talking back and forth.
Very good. Anything to add to that, Marge?
I would just say that the Robert's Rules of Order is a very good thing to follow, but we'll get into that. So I think that the meeting, the agenda and the meeting running well.
Very good. More on that to come, right?
Right.
Here's the second scenario. And Marge, I'll ask you to start off with this one. Okay. Our council only seems to act on the wishes of a few.
Yes, and I've had that happen. And the only thing you can do is try and get their views and then say, okay, point out the newer members and say, okay, what do you have to add? What information can you add to this?
Is that something the parish president would do?
Yeah,
I mean, whoever's running the meeting.
I am, and I'm also president. I forgot to say president of the parish, but and yes, I think the president has to have, and that's what that gavel is for. Take your gavel. You can stop everybody talking by hitting that gavel. A lot of people won't use it, but I like to use it.
That's a perfect sidebar. Let's take a little side trip. Uses of the gavel.
Yes.
I wonder how many council presidents use a gavel to start a meeting, end a meeting, call to order. What are the advantages of using a gavel?
Mm-hmm. I think it stops everybody from talking, and you can ask for other, for the younger ones or the newer members to give their opinion and try and keep them, you know, online. They're trying to appease the older ones somehow. I mean, there are ways to do it.
Very good. Anne, anything to add?
Well, this doesn't really have to do with Robert's rules, but as I was thinking about all this, I think a new member should possibly find a mentor, someone that has been on the board or is at a commission chair.
Mhm.
And that person can help guide them through the meeting and also maybe give them the confidence to view their ideas. Because sometimes they tend to be a little afraid to, you know, give their ideas that people won't like them. But you know, nobody's ideas are perfect.
Having
all-
a buddy or a mentor sitting next to them at their first couple
Yes,
of meetings would
yes.
help. That's a good idea, Anne. Very good. Do
Mhm.
either of you have a copy of Robert's Rules of Order or something that we could share with the audience today?
We have these books that we got from National, and Anne says the one is not available to purchase, which is the Ask the Parliamentarian, but you can copy that, right, Anne? I think she
Yes,
said
yes.
you can copy it from National. Go to the National website. This one is $3, I believe she said. I didn't realize there was a price on it, but it's protocol points. And it's a short version of the book of Robert's Rules, but it
Okay.
gives you some important points.
And our audience could access those at nccw.org, the National Council of Catholic Women.org website.
Exactly.
All right, very good. So we have some reference materials. Let's move on to another scenario, something that might happen in a meeting. We come up with good ideas at our meetings, but none of them are ever acted upon. Anne, would you care to address how following an agenda, et cetera, would help in that scenario?
Well, I think that's when the president and the commission chairs need to follow through on these new ideas. For example, if it's an idea that would go with your commission, that you would follow through with it and not just, I mean, I know people think, well, that's not my idea and only my ideas are good, but that's the way you could follow through with the commission chairs and discussing it more with the new member and their ideas before you move forward with it.
I know I've been at meetings, council meetings where an idea is presented and then it just seems to drift off, that there's never a closure on it. How could a parish president make sure there is some sort of closure, like asking for a motion or putting it to a vote before you move on to the next topic, so things don't go by the wayside without being addressed? That's a problem.
Well, and many times there's a motion to follow up the next meeting. And then the next meeting comes and it's not really followed up. I mean, that's kind of a problem. And that's where I think the president and the commission chairs come in to make sure that it's followed up.
Okay.
And that the president can put it on the agenda under new business or, you know, to make sure that the topic is discussed again.
Marge, anything to add on that?
I was on another board where they did use Robert's Rules. And one thing we did, and it seemed to work, was we typed up a motion form, and it had you write down you give it to the person who has the idea, write the motion on there, who's submitting it, and then at some point in the meeting, bring those motions up and have them voted on at that meeting.
So they're in writing rather than verbally?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it works better that way than just bringing it up and forgetting it. So that does help.
Very good. All right. I think we've already answered my last question, my last scenario, but might be worth looking at one more time. And that is this: how can I, as a new member, make sure my ideas are respected? Now, we've heard from Anne, you know, make sure you have a mentor or a buddy with you. But, you know, so often we hear, well, that's not how we do things here. You know, a new idea presented to a bunch of veterans, let's admit it, is sometimes a hard pill to swallow. Yet we want these new members to feel as though they're valued and they're contributing to their councils. How can Robert's Rules help that?
Well, I'm just thinking that the president, as the president, she needs to take hold of that and get it going, not let it go by the wayside.
Okay, okay.
And keep those ladies interested, because if they don't get this to give their ideas, they're not going to come back.
That's true. Ann,
And-
anything to add?
Well, and the thing is, like you said, many times people say, we've always done that way.
Mhm.
It's always been done that way. Why, reinvent the wheel? But they don't understand, if you get new ideas, that's how you make progress.
Mhm.
That's how you move forward, with new ideas. And the new ones, they're the ones that are going to help us to move forward.
Mhm. And our future officers,
Mhm.
down the road, they will be your new presidents and vice presidents and so on. So it's important that they feel valued and want to keep coming back to meetings.
Exactly.
You ladies have been awesome. I thank you very much. In conclusion, is there anything you would like to add before we sign off? It's been a delight talking to both of you.
Just thank you. Thank you for asking us these questions and helping to spread the word about what parliamentarian is about.
Very good. Thank you.
Get Robert's rules.
Get Robert's rules. That's
Yeah.
right, Marge. All right. Thank you, ladies. And I thank you all for listening to Council Insights. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.